course, it said pending your results. So it's waiting on O-level, A-levels, and so forth. Still don't know what a computer looks like. But I am sure I'm going to be working on a computer.
She said she still doesn't know what a computer looks like.
I don't know what it looks like. I heard the word.
What it is, so you know what it is.
No,
but you don't know
nothing. I just hear the word computer.
I hear
that I have the aptitude to work with computers, so that motivates me. And then I know that the computer field that I want, the job I want, is to become a systems engineer, based on the description I got from the British Computer Society.
But what if computers were bad? Like, what if...
This was the 1980s.
No, but what if
Computers were cool, because it didn't exist yet.
What if one day somebody came to this school, gave us a test, and I had an aptitude to be a serial killer, but I didn't
If you're as motivated as I am.
Alright, so firstly, the fact you thought of it like that proves that you clearly don't have the aptitude. Let's say that firstly. Second off, why would they be giving you that test specifically? Also, just because you have an aptitude for something you have to do it, just meant that she was motivated.
I was motivated to do it.
It just shows that you have the ability
So
to do
you're
it.
Nazi, you're aptitude to be
I need to be a mathematician, but I don't want to be. Okay.
Alright, so moving on. So after sixth form, after applying to all these universities and everything, not hearing from anybody, I went abroad to my friend for holiday. While overseas, my mother calls me and says that I need to come back so that I can, because I got a response from CAST, which is UTEC. I'm going to stop saying that. So CAST is the same thing as UTEC, okay? But it was CAST.
UTEC original.
So I got a response from CAST that I need to come in for an aptitude test.
Again.
I got this because I know already. So I had no nerves. So I went to do the aptitude test at CAST. And when I went into the room, as far as my eye could see, I saw people who were also doing the aptitude test. I heard afterwards that there were almost 900 persons who took the aptitude test that day. They had 3 sittings of 300. I heard that long after. But I had no fear, because I know what aptitude test is. As people go inside, they've never experienced an aptitude test. I know what the aptitude test is, and it's nothing I need to study for. Just do what I can, as fast as I can, as much as I can. And that is what I did. So you really ask questions, mathematical, English question, general reasoning question. You really can't study for that. You just have to be yourself. You either do it or you don't do it. Okay. Now what I did not know till sometime after, that these 900 persons are trying to fit into 8 spots. There were 8 places.
900?
900 people trying to fit into 8 spots. Now I didn't know this, remember, I just went there to do my aptitude test. I don't know these things. But this is what I found out afterwards.
That sounds like casting group.
So there were actually 10 spots for the program, but 2 were scholarships. So leaving 8 for whoever did well at the aptitude test. Okay. So some time passed, and I wouldn't know if I got an A, B, C or whatever. But the next step is, if you qualify, meaning that you have enough subjects, then they shortlist you. So that list gets shorter. If you get an A or a B, then the list gets shorter on the aptitude test. Then they bring you all in for interviews. Based on the interviews, they choose their 8 persons. Time passed. I got a message. I'm calling for an interview. Okay. So I go into the interview, and I'm now talking to somebody from the British Computer Society who is British, and I'm actually British. I'm born in England. So
Hold on.
Cool. Yeah. We are born in England.
We?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on.
Alright. So another time, another space, and we continue with my story.
I feel like, I just feel ashamed because you sound blacker than me.
So then we went in, I went into I wasn't nervous again, I wasn't nervous. I was just like, okay, I'm going to talk to this person for the interview. And I went in, remember I have my knowledge, I know exactly what I want to do. So I'm speaking to him, and he's of course asking why I want to do computing. And of course I have the aptitude. You know that? So I still don't know what a computer is, but I have the aptitude.
No idea.
And then he said, what kind of job do I see myself doing? And I was ready. System engineer. Why? And I was ready. And I was going through, and then after I finished talking, he said, well, I wouldn't suggest that you try for system engineer. I'm like, pardon me?
I beg you.
And he said, as a female, nobody will hire me as a system engineer.
Yeah.
And I said, remember, this is new. And so the engineer is expected to have a 24-hour response time.
Christ.
And they don't want a female who's saying they're feeling whatever month it is, or they have the baby nose running, or they have fever, or they have, so all these excuses can't work.
We love 1980s female standards. Let's go.
So he spoke to me a little bit more to get a feel as to what else I may be interested in. I told him at the time that I was a pianist, and I taught piano classes from fourth form. And so he actually was saying it'd be pretty cool to merge computing and piano. You're not paying attention to me at all?
No.
Alright, so just a side note, at that time, now you can get score and you can go on the computer, you can go on YouTube and learn computing and stuff. That didn't exist then. If I had really pursued that, I would maybe be a millionaire. But I didn't. He could see me though, that designing was something. I was also an artist. So system design, he said, that is what I should aim for rather than system engineering. And I was good with that. Anyway, so they said, I'll hear from them if I get a position. All right. So I got a call. I got a position. Now, again, I didn't know it was only 10 of us. But because it's only 10 of us, they didn't have a building for computing. They just started 2 years before, where they had 5 people. 2 years before I went, which was 1980. So 1978, they had 5 persons who did a 2-year course. So what they were doing was pilot. So they kind of fine-tuning the curriculum while they were doing it. One of those individuals stayed on to supervise us so that there's a smooth transition as the 10 of us came on fresh, new, don't know anything. So, and we stayed in the admin building, in the staff room. We had a part of the staff room. So we had phone on our desk, we had coffee on the table. We had, we were having life, we had AC. Yes. AC. But you have to pay for that. No, my parents didn't have it like that. So when they saw the cost, they were like,
just cut.
We don't have like this.
And somebody told me that maybe I could go and get a grant. So I said, what's a grant? So they said, go to CAST, and there's an admin office, and ask them if you can get a paper to apply for a grant. So I went there, and in my true innocence, I didn't know what a grant was. It asked me questions. Do you live on the dorm? No. Boarding grant, So boarding grant is really supposed to help somebody who's boarding there, who's going to be living the dorm. And I wrote, no. Are you Jamaican? I wrote, no, because I'm British. And so the boarding grant is really supposed to be for Jamaicans who are living on dorm. And I got it.
What?
And I was honest on the paper. But guess why I got it?
Why?
Nobody else was applying for it. The money just sitting there. The money sitting there waiting. So I got the funding to go to, and how we operated was like employees. We couldn't leave, like when you have class and you go when you have class to UTEC and then you leave when you don't have a class. We have to be there from 8 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock every afternoon.
So just 6 for.
And when we're not going to a particular class, we're programming. We're working in between, working on our programs and stuff. And so there was it was a good ground for learning for a work environment. Now, the very first day that we walked in for class, meaning that we're just now ready now for school, they took us to the computer lab. Now remember, this is the first time I've seen a computer.
Oh man.
Yeah. It took me 2 years to see a computer. And it filled the room. It was one of those huge computers that fill the room, that have lights and whistles and punch cards going over here and another thing going over there. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I was just so excited. Everything was going on. I don't know what the hell is going on. But I don't know.
She doesn't know what's happening.
I loved it. And then the supervisor said to us, we're on a schedule as of next week to demo the computers to the rest of all the other faculties, building, English, all the other faculties are coming in for a tour of the computer lab. And we had to tell them what these things are. And the first time we seen one, we had 1 week to get a little understanding as to what was going on. This was a joke. When they came, they put us in pairs, 10 of us. So they put us in pairs. So me and my friend, we're still good friends. Her name is Joan. So I and Joan now have to give the tour. I mean, this is just 1 week now. So we really don't know what everything is going. So when we make up story, I said, why don't you like that? And why did I move on that scene? You should have heard, but what it did for me though, is that it made me want to know why. So I was reading out, and every question that I got, I would go and try and research it so that the next time somebody asks me something, I would be more knowledgeable. So I was really fired up to learning. So they had the persons come and doing all of this and getting a tour from novices, but they got the tour. So we went through 2 years, let me just fast forward, went through 2 years, a 2 years program, and we were there all the time, as I said, even through the summer. During the summer we're doing short courses, we're doing all kind of RBG2 and COBOL and all kind of programs we're learning and stuff.
Yeah,
and we're going through, so we're going through this for 2 years. At the end of the 2 years, they send you on job experience. So they, again, split us up into two. And they send 2 to this company, 2 to that company, and they get some experience, and then they come back, write a summary report on what we experienced there. There's a checklist as to what we're supposed to learn or cover while there, and then after that, we are free for going resumes for employment. All right. Now, my friend and mine, Joan and myself, we were set to go to Colgate Palmolive. We went down there, and when we went down there, nobody expected us. So everybody like, nobody expected anybody. They had, nobody knew we were coming. So when we called our head of department, she said, come back. Everybody else, the other 8 settled where they're supposed to be. We floated, but it's God working. Yeah. So they asked us to come back to CAST and see if they could find somewhere to put us, the 2 of us. And she called her friend, remember his name, Sid Mackay, and he worked at MWCS, and asked if he can take these two girls who haven't got a place to go and do the work experience, and she expressed that they don't have to pay us anything, because we're just there to learn.
Yeah.
Okay. So we went down there, this is downtown. We went down there. And when he was taking us around and introducing us to people, he kept saying, he was a little Scottish man, short, strong Scottish accent. And everybody he introduced us to, he would say, and they're here for like, I think it was like 2 months or something like that, and they don't cost a penny. And then they introduced us to the next one, and they don't cost a penny. And he said, everybody,
I don't cost a penny.
Don't cost a penny. Now my friend, every time he said don't cost a penny, she squirmed. You know, you could see that she didn't like this. Why you have to say this every time?
Yeah, because they're trying to sell you. It's kind of gross.
Alright, so in that to me, you know, I just excited that I got to see more computers. I was so excited.
That's all I hear. The friends out here fighting for social justice, just like, I just like the pretty lights.
So we got a job there for the two months, and while there, we have a sheet of paper which tells us the different things that we must cover before we come back. So we don't go there without a plan. When we are there, the different departments, we're programmers. That's what we're primarily there doing. So we're doing the program. After we write the program, it goes to a punch card office. So there are ladies there punching punch cards. So they're looking at what we have written, and then we get that stack of cards and it goes to a verifier. So it makes sure that the holes in the punch cards are pushed out properly. So it goes through that being verified. Then it goes to the computer department where the operators are going to run the program, and all the error messages will come out on a sheet of paper. They stack the punch cards and the error messages, leave it for you to pick up, and you start again. You reprogram, and this is the cycle. Now, while my friend there sitting down, waiting for her program, I followed mine. So when I went to the key punch place, I said, show me how to use this machine. And I said, when you're going to lunch, can I punch my program? They said, yes, because that's work for them. So I am there and I learn the key punch machine. I do the same thing, the verifying the department. So I learn to verify. I go in the computer department, pure guys inside there. So I give everybody Joe, but I learn. I'm asking questions about the different things. And just a little note, I married one of them. But I call such but my program would come very quickly because I'm following it through and getting it corrected. Persons who came to me and said, can you do this for me? Can you do this for me? I would say, well, I don't know how to do it, but show me or teach me and I will learn. My girlfriend, first of all, she not follow her thing road. She's sitting down there waiting. And if somebody comes and say, well, while you're waiting, can you do for me? She take out her sheet of paper. I don't see it here.
John learned for this.
John said, so she not doing it. You see the end of the 2 months? The managing director called me to his office. And he said to me, what are you going to be doing after this? And I said, I guess I'm looking for a job. He said, you don't need to. You have
Oi!
So fast forward again. My first day of work there, I was on a computer conference up on the North Coast with my co-workers. I mean, it was just amazing working there and being there for the 2 years. I learned a lot. I got a promotion shortly before. Joan, my friend, she stayed at CAS and she did management studies or marketing, something with them. I don't know which one. But she did 2 years and then she went now looking for jobs. Both of us were one of the three of us that did a project that made us the first in Jamaica to graduate with any kind of computing paper with honors. Mr. Robinson, 3 hours work. There was 3 hours we're working because I was loving it. So I was really doing it. Putting everything into it. So graduating with honors now. One of the three, we're all in touch. One of the three, she got a job in Delaware. So she flew out right after graduation, leaving just Joan and myself in Jamaica with this highest qualification that people were seeking. Because they don't care. You have honors in computing and computing is new, you must be good.
Education is just
I was already settled in a job. She's looking at a job. She got 2 jobs. 2 jobs that pay twice my salary. And she said to them, I obviously can't take 2 jobs. I'm going to take this job, but I know somebody else who can take this one. And she told them about me. So they told her to tell me, they don't mean me, that I have a job. So I said, oh, the moment, I have a job. And I'm quite happy here in this job. So I had no plans of moving and going anywhere. She convinced me to go and just talk to them. So it's not really an interview now, you know?
Yeah, just
It's just an informal interview where he just going to get to meet me, but he done already make up his mind. Say,
Yeah,
I
he
come to work
wants you
here.
there, but
Yeah.
you just don't know.
All right. So I didn't want these people who I'm working with to feel that I'm looking at work. So what I did was I left my jacket there, I left my pen there, and at the time my boyfriend covered for me, like I gone bathroom, and I gone informal interview. And so while I'm at the interview, I started to think, what's at this first job that I don't like? And the only thing I didn't like was that I was in a cubicle. You know what a cubicle is?
Yeah, it's
So it's kind of open. Yeah, small and it's open. So because I always have my things organized, people, they need a scissors, oh, don't have a scissor. Or they need a ruler, oh, don't have a ruler. Them love come and take my things. You know what
That's real.
so the only thing in my head that could tick the card is if I get an office that can close the door. So when the man started to try and win me over to come and work with him, I told him, okay, double your salary. That never moved me. It's not the money moving me, because I'm quite happy where I am, and I'm not really a risk taker, so I don't really want to come into this thing and I don't like it. And then he said, I get an office. So I'm like, I'm not get salary yet. So I said to him that the first job that I was at used to get long holidays. Because it was a statutory body, which might not mean anything to you now, but it's associated with the government. We got 35 days vacation, right? So we got a long time. So I said to him, I booked a flight. This was a lie. I booked a flight in July, because that was my birthday, in July, and so that could be a problem because I'm planning to travel. And if I take the job now, I'm not supposed to get vacation until a year's time. You know that? You have to work a year before you get vacation. I've never worked a year without vacation. Never in my life. So I lied, and he says, okay, no problem. And he makes a note. And then the conference usually takes place in October, and the last job, they paid 50% of the expenses. They took back half out of my salary. When I was at CAS, I actually went there to help type up badges, because I had no computer, to type up badges for people to the name tag, but I was learning, and that was free. So I said to them, I'm used to being paid for to go to the conference. So the man says, when is it? I said, October. He said, okay. Made a note. So he paid for me to go conference, allowing me to go on my vacation in July, giving me an office, giving me twice my salary. Now, how am I going to say no?
No, I was going to say, you can't just do that.
So I took the job, and what happened was, 6 months later, the place I just came from closed. No, tell me if that's not God.
That's God.
Tell me if that's not God.
That's God.
That's God.
That's God.
I guess.
Nice.
So there I am working now in this new environment, and they wanted to change up their computer system to a new system, a bigger system, a more powerful system. And so we had people coming from different companies trying to sell their system, and somebody comes from IBM to try and sell me their system, and guess who walks through my door?
Is it the same one?
Cuthbert Lloyd. So I'm like,
Hello.
I know you. This man is trying to get $1 million commission.
No man.
Once I sign, he gonna get it. I'm like, I should have. What you going to do?
I took 3.
Oh.
They took 3. They took 3.
Okay. So, alright, let me try fast forward. Alright, so.
No man, you get your 3.
Can I get a phone in? If he gets a phone
Alright,
in,
so.
This is his second one. Continue.
Yeah. So anyway, I gave him the sale. But I was smiling to myself, and I was saying, no, look how light turned up. You see how in don't burn the bridges, you never know. Don't burn the bridges. See how this man come now and come sit where he need me?
Yeah.
For his job. Anyway, so I gave him, we changed out the system, everything was going fine. That was actually Sherwin-Williams. So I was the data processing supervisor at Sherwin-Williams. So that was good.
okay.
Did he remember you?
No.
Okay.
I had to remind him who I was, and then he remembered. But he didn't know. That moment he just saw me.
No, I was wondering if you remembered after you reminded him.
Yes. He remembered after. Yeah, but he didn't remember just see me. Yeah. So me and him big friend now. So, not a problem. Yeah. So while I was there, I got a call. Are you happy? I said, excuse me?
Who's the call on?
I said, right. Well, yes, I'm happy.
I'm fine.
I got another job.
Again.
I did not, I wasn't even looking anywhere. I got a job offer just based on the fact that that computer system that I brought in and I did well in moving everything over to it, they had that same kind of system, System 36. They had the same kind of system and they were looking for somebody to manage it and a bigger place. So they, again, I'm not looking, but I said, all right. One of the issues I had, by this time I got married and we had one car. So my issue now,
Is that you draw vehicle transportation?
I have to always be waiting on my husband.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Mine is
That was like my mom.
Bicycle.
So well, that was it. That was my head as the only thing now, because I have office, I have all these other things. So I go for the informal interview, and in it, of course, I start with I have a plane ticket for July, and I got okay. You can, that's fine, not a problem. And then October, I need to go to the conference that you paid for.
So you saw.
So they say, well, that's a little bit sticky. You can go next year, but not this year, because this year there was a Sri Lankan consultant who was leaving in October, and that's why they need me to learn whatever she's doing and then take over so that I'll be there when she's gone. So October is a bad time for me to leave. So I said, okay, that's not so bad, because they promised for the following year. And then I said, office? And they said, that's your office there. And I'm like, okay. And then I said, huh? They said, you're pushing it a little bit. But they're going to dangle it like a carrot. Work 6 months, let us see how you're doing. And if you do well, give it a car. So I went. 6 months passed, then I get a car. 7 months passed, then I get a car.
Robbery!
I went inside and I'm like, hello! They gave me the car. When I reminded them, they gave me the car. So I had a car. It was the group of companies called Nano Decodical. So it was a big group of companies, and they had all different kind of things that they did with the different groups. So my experience, whoosh. 1988, when they had the hurricane, I was at that, and I did well. I was one of the few that just went day one. Everything is a disaster. Day 2, we're processing at a new location. When payroll to run on time, sales report on time. Everything. It just again.
Professional.
God. No, everything is God. I was speaking to one of my friends who I met at the conference, and I said, I said to her, let us make a gentleman's agreement that if any disaster ever happens, just so you're just casual, any disaster happens, because we have the same system. I just come to you if the disaster hit me, and you come to me if the disaster hit you. And that was the gentleman's agreement that we went on. The disaster hit me, because I have a glass computer room. The glass came in, shattered, wet up everything, and I just went down to her. Just took up files that were in the fireproof vault, plug in both the 2 terminals that were inside the warehouse, put it up, and kept working, yeah?
Yeah, I want to pay full attention. Did you say the hurricane?
For 1988.
Yeah, would you like to specify the hurricane?
Oh, Gilbert.
Yeah,
Sorry, it was the biggest one that I remember.
I know.
Yeah.
I were here that day.
Oh no, don't need that. I'm going to, don't need that. Give me 2 seconds, don't need that. I am going to stop the story, but just to summarize to say, I have never been in a formal interview. And I have gone through several jobs thereafter, getting calls of asking if I'm happy or people putting me for whatever. So I'm going to stop there to how I reached here, but you get the idea. And I believe God had a hand in it. But I don't want them to leave because I want to give this out. There, you can speak to this picture, please. The winner, but you can stop there before.